8th graders, it's Mr. KV, the Cloud Apps Tutor, and today I want to show you how to make a Google Forms that include some random and interesting trivia facts that happen to contain percentages. That's what we're doing. That's our purpose. We want to explore percentages here at the beginning of this new math unit. Our learning target is here. I can represent and compare percents. And so I've given you a number of things that your form should contain. It should contain real-world facts and references to percent, automatic email collection, limit to one response, do not require a school account, include 5+ interesting multiple choice questions, and you need to include 1% that is less than 1%, and one fact that has a percentage greater than 100. So let's get started. I'm going to go into my Google Drive. This is actually not my school account, this is a different account. And I'm going to hit New and go to Google Forms. Google Forms. And right at the top, I'm going to say Mr. KV's interesting facts. And let's say about including percents. That's not the best title. Hopefully I can make that a little better in a moment, but here we go. So we're going to go first of all to settings, and we need to set up a few things here. No, I don't need to know about the new Google Forms right now. We want to limit to one response. That is going to require respondents to sign into Google. We will let surveyors or respondents see the summary charts and text responses at the end. That's always interesting. And we also want to make this a quiz. They can see correct answers and point values. All right, I think this is set up and ready to go. So it's collecting email addresses. You can ask them for their name if you want, but if you have their email address, you basically have their name. So how do we ask a first question? How do we even know where to start? Well, I thought of a number of ideas as I was doing this morning with my 8th graders. And one, I happen to be a balding man, and that's okay. I'm comfortable with it. This is a reality I've dealt with for a long time. So something we typed in was what percentage of men, men are bald? And you'll see that according to healthline.com, 85% of men are balding. So I know this does not relate to you, but according to healthline.com, what percentage of men are balding? And we can give our respondents some choices: 10%, 25%, 50%, and 85%. And in our, we want to make this question required. You want to check that off for every question. And then for your answer key, it's important you go in there and select 85%. That's our answer. So that's our first question, and maybe I'll show you how to do one or two more, because we also want to deal with percentages. Remember, one that is less than 1% and one that is greater than 100%. So how do we find a percentage that is less than 1? And again, I should also mention this is, these are all facts taken from real world situations, real world information. And I should have mentioned that earlier. So I wasn't sure how to, it actually took me a while to find a good percentage of less than 1. But let's try this, 0.5%. Let's type 0.5%. And I think I found a fact about Mark Zuckerberg. You've got the British pound, the British currency falling 0.5%. That's kind of a boring fact. I'm just going to type Zuckerberg and show you the one that I used with the class this morning. And I am not seeing it. Oh, here we go. So in 2019, Mark Zuckerberg, who is the founder and chief CEO, there we go. So he claimed that political ads would only be 0.5% of 2020 revenue, meaning half of 1%, would be political ads. And Facebook has gotten into a lot of trouble for basing a lot of their revenue on political ads, which sort of drive people crazy on all sides of the aisle. So let's bring in that question. According to Mark Zuckerberg, you can see I'm starting these questions with according to, just to sort of give some reference about where I'm getting my information. And of course, this is from TechCrunch.com. Maybe it could come from either source, but Crun, sorry about that. It's still not right. Crunch, TechCrunch.com. Mark Zuckerberg reported that Facebook's revenue from political ads in 2020 would amount Facebook's revenue from political ads. It's a hard question to word, let me think about it. Mark Zuckerberg reported that Facebook's revenue from political ads would comprise what percentage? I still don't like that. Let's try this. Would collect what percentage of revenue from political ads 2020. Now, as I sort of wordsmith that, I realized that's going to be really hard for 8th graders. So I hope you can find a fact that is a little bit simpler. But remember, the correct answer here is going to be 0.5%. Say 5% or maybe even 50%. Okay, and the answer key is going to be 0.5%. Not a great example, I've got to be honest. That got a little bit confusing. So good luck finding a percentage less than 1 that is a little bit simpler than that example I just gave you. Now let's find something that is at 110%. There's a stock called Cargojet. And according to the Motley Fool, that's a stock website, Cargojet is up 110% in 2020. I'm not going to use this as a question because no one has a clue what Cargojet is. That's not very interesting. Oh, here's a local story. I think I used this morning. Yes. Single-family home sales in Surrey soared by 110% in November 2020. So according to dailyhive.com, how much I'm going to go back to the start for some better wording here. Soared by 110%. Let's get the stat here if we can. 54.7% here, which increased by 110% from sales in 2019 to 541. By how or by what percentage did Surrey home sales increase from 2019 to 2020? This will be interesting to any parents who are realtors. So options, remember the correct answer is 110%. Even a 10% increase would be notable. That's actually incredible. Wow. It's a crazy time. 65% and 110%. Answer key, 110%. Oh, let's make that worth 1 point. And answer key. So that is not cool. By default, these questions are worth 0 points. That's weird. Yeah, let's make these worth 1. Can I change that in my default preferences? Yes, by default. Yes. Okay. Excellent. So I should have done that very first thing. In your default settings, you want to collect email addresses usually, Make questions required and set the default quiz point value at 1. Alright, let's take a look at my quiz. Oh, okay, that's done. Alright, so I've got interesting facts quiz. This is an awkward title. Okay, what percentage of men... Ooh, that wasn't even a great... Bald by the age of 50. I remember that one. So that's what happens when I try to rush the video. I make mistakes like that. According to TechCrunch report that Facebook. Okay, and all right. So in Classroom, I can't give you the student view, but you can select Add and then select your Google Drive, and you'll see this form show up. That's one way to add it to your assignment and submit. Or you can go in here to Send, and you can select this URL and post that URL as a link as well. Either way works. I hope this helps. I look forward to seeing your quizzes.